Ryan Van from SportbikeTrackHere.com, and today we're going to recap the first ride on a 2014 STG Road Racing World Honda CBR1000RR project bike. For the first ride, we rode with Sportbike track time at Grattan Raceway, July 5th and 6th of 2014. I've ridden with Sportbike track time for a long time. They're a great group. If you haven't used them, I highly recommend you do. They're my go-to place for track days, for sure. Grattan Raceway is one of my favorite tracks. It may be one of the most technical racetracks on the planet. It's definitely a challenge. If you haven't been there before, I also recommend that one highly. Weather, low 80s, high 70s, no rain, sun was shining, absolutely perfect to get out and shake this bike down. I'm going to talk about the state of ready the motorcycle was in to give you an idea of where it was for the first ride, because we still have some work to do. I installed an Öhlins 30 mil kit on the front. I did that myself. It's the first time I've ever done that myself. I was a little bit concerned about the installation. The concerns turned out to be unwarranted as the bike handled very well. We'll talk more about that. Öhlins TTX GP rear shock, Spiegler stainless steel brake lines front and rear, full titanium M4 exhaust, same one Chris uses on his AMA Superbike, Vortex adjustable rear sets, Woodcraft engine case cover protectors, both sides in case we went down. Thank God we didn't. Got Hot Bodies color form race bodywork. This is the stuff that has the color actually in the gel coat. There's no paint on this. It looks pretty good. It saves you from the paint job. Stomp grip traction pads on the tag. For me, those are a must. I have to have those in place. It takes a lot of weight off your hands. Pizzazz full traction control and quick shift fuel controller. We've got that in place. Also worked phenomenally. Driven block off plates we installed to eliminate the air injection system. We put a Samco coolant hose kit on the bike and installed the premix water wetter, which really helped bring down those engine temps a little bit. We were really happy with the result. Let's talk about suspension setup, right? This is key, obviously, with a track bike. We're gonna begin up front with the forks. I took some notes. For the forks, we installed 1.05 springs. We used initially the recommended settings from Öhlins, which was 12 clicks out on the rebound and 12 clicks out on the compression. We put in 32 millimeters of sag, right, for the preload to get that as a baseline. After riding the bike throughout the weekend, I only made one change to the front, and that was to tighten up the rebound by 2 clicks. It felt like it needed to be slowed down just a little bit. Tire wear up front was excellent. Let's talk about the rear shock. We began with a 110 spring. The rebound was 13 clicks out. Compression, 10 clicks out. We put in 25 millimeters of sag, and the shock length was 302 millimeters. We made some more changes in the rear, more than we did in the front. For the rear, I slowed the rebound initially by a couple of clicks to stay consistent with what I did up front. I just felt the whole bike was rebounding too quickly. After riding it a bit, I was getting some poor tire wear on the back as we picked up the pace, and the wear was kind of scalloped, right? It was wavy. That typically indicates that the rebound is too fast. So we were more aggressive with our second change, and we put on some new tires to see if the change worked. The wear is much better now. These wore much cleaner after. We were able to get the lap times down to 1:22.7 seconds. That was pretty reasonable for a track day for the first ride out. So we ended up in the rear with 7 clicks out of rebound, and we began with 13. So we made a pretty big change there, a total of 6 clicks, and that felt great. All in all, I would say handling of this bike, let's compare it to the Yamaha that we did last year. This bike feels much more solid, much more confidence inspiring than the Yamaha. It took me all year last year, and I rode a lot more to get down to an optimal lap time at Grattan of 1:22.00. I was able to, on my first weekend out of the year, which was really good for me because I normally take a while, a couple of events to kind of shake the cobwebs out. I was able to get down to a minute 22.7. We had a top speed of 156 miles an hour indicated on the GPS lap timer, which is also interesting because that's a mile an hour faster than we had with the Yamaha last year. I would say power-wise, this bike feels like it's got just a little more pepper than we had with the Yamaha. The power band is very, very linear. It feels usable, very, in my opinion, rider-friendly. The only issue I really encountered, to see if the cameraman can pick this up, is apparently, I think this was happening in turn one. We were using a little bit of lean angle there. Apparently we were dragging the exhaust canister on this, so I'm going to have to make some adjustments to the way I've got that mounted and possibly source a new canister, as it looks like we're almost through up here at the front. We're dragging the bodywork a little bit too, so we're going to need to make some adjustments to hopefully hold that off. Let's talk more about the tires. Michelin Power Slicks. I went with the B compound front and rear. Cold pressure in the front, 30 psi. Cold pressure in the rear, 18 psi. I heated them on my Chicken Hawk warmers to 174 degrees. Once the suspension changes were made, I was quite pleased with the tire wear, and I absolutely love the traction that I'm getting from these Michelins. That, coupled with the good wear, makes me a happy camper. The camera guy, the video editing guy, is going to put a little footage, you know, some of the lap that we did there at Grattan, right? We were in the 22, so they were reasonably quick, right? There's a little bit to watch there. There was an angle from the rear, right? When I watch it, I look at myself and I say, man, you need to hang off a little bit farther. But nevertheless, they're pretty cool. Let's talk about the shifting pattern that I was using at Grattan Raceway. Remember, stock chain. We got a big old 530 chain on there and those stock steel sprockets still. Gear selection. Straight away, I was using 5th gear. Downshifting 3 times, entering turn 1. We're going to carry 2nd gear from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 all the way out of 4 over the hump into 5. We're still in 2nd gear through 6, 7. We're going to use 2nd gear to exit the bowl. We're going to shift into 3rd, go through the sweeper. I'm going to grab 2 downshifts going into the bus stop, which is turn 9. I'm going to come out in 1st gear. It's pretty aggressive. It wheelies pretty hard. I'm going to look for that shift to 2nd quick. Little delay. We're going to shift to 3rd. Carry some good speed through 10A. We're going to try and accelerate between A and B as much as possible. Get a nice drive out of 10B onto the straightaway. We're going to grab 2 shifts into 5th gear and then repeat the process. With my riding, I would say there's a couple areas, even though the lap times were good, there's a couple areas where I'm really leaving a lot on the table in terms of time. And some of it's easy time. One is at the end of the straightaway, I'm letting off way too early. I think I can get the top speed on this bike probably closer to 160 by holding throttle longer. I'm coasted way too much there. I'm letting off the throttle, transitioning the brakes way too late. I'm going to work on that as the season wears on, and I think we're going to be able to go a lot faster on this bike. This is going to be a phenomenal piece of hardware for whoever wins it. The Yamaha wasn't bad, but I think the Honda is going to be a whole lot better.